Hello, everyone. So, some of you may or may not know this, but I am, in fact, a pretty big weeb. And by big weeb, I mean I learned 3 years of Japanese. One of them was like this turbo sped up program at a community college, all like learning a year's worth of language in 2 months, just so I could go to Japan and one, pick up Japanese girls, because goddamn. And two, so I didn't have to watch anime without subtitles, or I could play like video games that haven't been translated. Trail series for anyone who knows. But a pretty good video idea I had is, hey, the new season just started up, so why not try and share my opinions about what I'm gonna be watching, what I think is good, what I think is bad, what I'm not even gonna think about. So make sure to leave a like if you like these kind of videos, comment, and let's get into it. First off, we have solo leveling. Now, solo leveling, let me bring up the picture. Solo leveling is kind of it's the concept has been seen so many times. Uh let me read the description real quick. 10 years ago, the Gate appeared and connected the real world with the realm of magic and monsters. To combat these vile beasts, ordinary people received superhuman powers and became known as hunters. 20-year-old Sung Jin Woo is one such hunter, but he is known as the world's weakest, owning his pathetic power compared to even a measly E rank. Still, he hunts monsters tirelessly in low ranked gates to pay for his mother's medical bills. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm sure most of you already know about this series. Um, it's a power fantasy. It's one of those guy gets bullied for being weak at the start, and then he becomes OP as shit. The difference is solo leveling is one of like kind of like with Sao and Isekai. It's like the one that started this whole thing. Listen, I did not read the manhwa because that's what it's based on a Korean manga. But the animation is pretty good. Pretty good. Uh, I think if you're expecting some crazy plot, uh, and some insane character development, you're probably in the wrong place. But if you're just looking for like a power fantasy with some good animation, uh, then honestly you'll like solo leveling a lot. I'm gonna be watching it this season for sure. Classroom of the Elite Three. Now I don't know how many of you have seen Classroom of the Elite 1 and 2. 2 was rushed. It was hard rushed. But I'm not going to lie, like this show is basically like junk food. It's like you know that the source material is so much better and that the anime is rushed. And it's kind of like mediocre, but it's one of those animes that's just like all mind games and like everyone's like thinking 3 levels ahead, you know? And it's just like fuck me, is it just an enjoyable ride. So I watched season two. Season one is the best alone. Um, and the main waifu is like overhyped. Horikita, I think that's her name. Yeah, she's like a mid tier waifu at best. But outside that, I think the show's pretty fun. And if you aren't like criticizing the quality super hard, then you'll like the show. I'm gonna be watching it for sure. What am I clicking on? Mashal. I am not going to be watching Mashal. And the reason for that is because this is I don't think it's an isekai. It might be. But basically the entire thing, like it's just one joke, the anime, and it just repeats itself on like so many times. It's a guy who goes to a magical world or something or has no magic and he just uses muscle to get over everything. And that sounds like that sounds like it might be pretty funny, but after like episode 2 you've seen everything. And it's like it just becomes very very average. I think I saw like in a Reddit thread it's like what is the most average anime you've ever seen? And this was like the second most upvoted series, Mashal. And honestly, like I'd have to agree, it's like the definition of mid. But like it's pretty easy to watch. Like if you're into like brain dead comedies, then you'll probably like it. Um, I think this is the second season of the Isekai Tsukimichi. I didn't watch first, and honestly, like all these isekais, unless it's like a really good or notable isekai like solo leveling, solo leveling isn't even an isekai. Uh, then I just like don't have the mental effort to put towards this. Like I'm not gonna be watching this. Maybe in like 2 years when I've like run out of anime to watch, I'll pick this up. But I'm not in the mood to pick up some, especially like JC staff, like mid C staff. Like yeah, I don't think I need any more words for this. Dungeon Meshi. Now this is like a dungeon crawling cooking anime. Let me read the description. After the Golden Kingdom is sunk underground by insane magician, an insane magician, its king emerges, promising all of his treasure to any who defeat the magician before crumbling to dust. Guilds are spurred on by this promise, traversing the labyrinth dungeon in search for the magician. Laios, the leader of one such guild, encounters a dragon that wipes out his party and devours his sister, Phelan. Despite having lost the entirety of their supplies and belongings, Laios, along with Marciel, an elven healer, Chilchuck, a halfling thief, immediately re-enter the dungeon, determining to save Fallen. Yeah, it's just a dungeon crawling cooking anime. Um, I'm not too into cooking animes. Um, and the biggest thing I go for is I like high stakes, like almost like darker anime. Not like so dark like Monster or Berserk. That's like a lot. Granted, like Berserk is great. Uh, but yeah, I'm with like as you'll see, there's so many good shows this season that it's just hard to pick this up in the list. I might check it out later. We'll see, but eh, not right now. I'm gonna give it a little bit more episodes and maybe I'll binge it. We'll see. Chain Soldier. This is action fantasy ecchi. After his high school graduation, Yuki Wakura realizes it's been 5 years since his sister's disappearance during a Mato disaster. Throughout Japan, mysterious entrances called open to a dimension called Mato, a demonic metropolis filled with disastrous monsters known as the threats the safety of humans. However, New Hope arose. Oh, all women have super. I feel like this concept where like all women have superpowers, and then there's just a random like MC male attached to it for the sake of having a harem. Like this has been done so many times. Granted, like it's ecchi too. Listen, ecchi is great. There's like three phases to anime, to being an anime fan. There's like that first phase when you're watching like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, like shonen shit. And then there's a phase where you're like watching slice of life, uh, ecchi, like shojo, like everything above. But then once you're past that phase, like you've just seen so much of it, you just want quality. You want something like Frieren or heck, like even like Konosuba, something like that, like is actually a good quality work. And honestly, this just screams generic for me, especially with the ecchi tag. Like, how many ecchi shows have there been that have like truly been great? There's like interspecies reviewers, but that's like one anime out of many. So I'm gonna be giving this the pass. Goodbye, Chain Soldiers. A Sign of Affection. Now, I really, really tried to get into this show. I tried, man, but it's hard. And the reason I say that is the main character of the show, this blue guy right here. Let me see if I can. This guy right here. This guy is like the most obnoxious like protagonist because one, like he knows like it's just it's extremely coincidental they're meeting. Literally like this is like a minor spoiler for the first episode, but this dude, like, she's literally on the train getting talked to by some stranger, and he just comes up and speaks sign language for her, automatically like knows she's deaf, touches her, like he puts his hand on her head, um, which screams to me like shojo fantasy, which is just generic. Also, he has like the ugliest mouth ever. It doesn't show here. I guess it kind of shows here. Like, I don't know. The main character in this just grosses me out. And also his friend, like, he's caring. This is her like childhood friend, like the other love interest. Like, he's just a dick. Like, I get he doesn't know how to convey his feelings, but is your way to be about it just be an asshole? It's not even like a cute tsundere way. I don't know why I'm commenting about cute guys. I'm straight. I wouldn't know about that shit. Uh yeah, I tried, but I could not get into it. Dangers in My Heart season 2. Oh my god, this show is good. This show is so authentic. Like, the biggest thing I look for in any show is character development, and this has some of the most like natural character development I've seen out of any shows. Like, Dangers in My Heart, like, you could watch it one time, and because it goes through the perspective of I forgot his name, but this guy right here. It goes through the perspective of this guy, and if you rewatch it, there's so much replay value in seeing her reaction to everything. It's I don't like they flesh it out so much because it's like you can see they're both like overthinking in their heads, um, and the way they're like their actions and like them fishing for responses. It feels exactly like a real relationship would go. Like, even some of the experiences I've had, like I kind of relate to this show a lot, and it's just so like cute and wholesome, you know. And like, especially with season 2, uh, normally, the friends of like the main girl love interest are like dicks, but in this, they're actually really nice to him and encouraging. You know, I cannot recommend the show enough. I'm absolutely going to be watching it, and I recommend you do too. Blue Exorcist, wasn't it like the last season they came out with was like 8 years ago or something? I'm not going to be watching this. It's extremely shonen, and maybe the first two seasons were good, but I just don't have the commitment to watch 36 episodes just to get into the third season of this. Maybe another time. Uh, Hokkaido gals are super adorable. Do Sanko ga wa namara menko. Why was that so hard for me to say? This is basically like the author obviously just has a super big fetish for like Hokkaido girls, or this girl specifically, because it's literally um like nerdy nice guy or like geeky nice guy. I don't even know if he's a geek. He's just like plain Jane uninteresting. Meets this super like uh what's the word for it? Uh like socially confident and like makes a lot of moves so the guy doesn't have to. I don't know, it just feels like a fever dream for a bunch of like lonely people, for like lonely what is it, hikimoris, like the people who shut themselves in their house. Like, it feels just like a fever dream for that. And I see like there's two more girls here, so he probably gets like a harem going. I don't know, it's just like a mid. It's aggressively mid. You've seen this concept done so many times. Like, she is a pretty cute like a romantic interest, like waifu, but I just don't have the patience for these shows anymore. It needs to be like good. Like, World Only God knows if I'm gonna watch it or something. Tomozaki Kun is one of my favorite shows of all time. And the reason I say that is because the way he goes through like developing, almost like viewing life as a game, is exactly how I grew up viewing and improving myself. And the first season, like, gave so much inspiration to like better myself socially and like level up almost, that like while I've like moved on and like I've retained all the knowledge and I don't think of life like that anymore. It was like a stepping stone, and it like provided so much. And also Mimi Me is like fucking fire. But Tomozaki absolutely going to be watching. Great show. Wrong way to use healing magic. I think this is like a battle harem or like a one of those battle sh- battle high school shows. Um, I'm sure this is good. It seems like a an action. I guess it's yeah, action fantasy. I don't really have a whole lot to add off this. I haven't checked it out. I tried watching the first episode, but man, who's I think it's Studio 9 that's doing this, right? Fuck if I know. The whatever studio is doing this has like the oldest art style where every anime they make looks like it's from 2005. And honestly, like it's kind of shallow, but I just can't get into it because it's not very pretty to look at. But I'm sure the show's funny and I'm sure it's like I would check it if I'm ever feeling super bored, I'll check it out. Who knows? Witch and the Beast, I have not checked this out. And honestly, like maybe it's good. It's just not my genre. And 7.31 stars. Listen, I know you aren't supposed to take my anime list reviews seriously, but that's not great. This looks like generic. Banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life. Yeah, this just looks like boring isekai. I didn't check out the first season of this, and I for sure as hell won't check out the second season. Gushing over magical girls. Okay, I watched the first episode, and this is literally just like the entire concept of a show is a girl wants to be a magical girl, but she ends up becoming the villain, and she inflicts pain on the magical girls, and she enjoys it, and it's etchy tag. That's not my genre, honestly. Like girls love, yep. Uh, Not my genre. I know some people are gonna love this kind of shit. That ain't me. Uh, yeah, to each their own, I guess. This looks like garbage isekai, 6.48 rating. Yeah, not even checking that out. Metallic Rogue. In a world where humans and androids coexist, Rogue is an android girl who is on the mission on who is on a mission on Mars. It's like a tongue twister. With her partner Naomi. The mission is to murder 9 artificial humans who are hostile to the government. Is this a political sci-fi anime? I see mecha in the background too. I'm not a huge mecha guy, so I probably won't check it out. But Studio Bones is pretty fire. If you are into mecha, this might be pretty good. Uh, though that rating is pretty low. Seventh Time Loop. This show is fire. Like, there's just so much I don't know. The main character in this, she's kind of like a, she's just really refreshing. Because I feel like most like female protagonists in anime tend to be very weak and docile or like very like introverted, but she is like a very strong and knowledgeable protagonist, and it's very refreshing, you know. And also, like the whole like having 7 different lives is a pretty interesting concept because it offers as like a platform to explain why she has so many skills of the way she does, and like you never know where they're gonna go next with this series. It keeps itself very like refreshing. Um, I'm enjoying the series so far, and I'm definitely going to continue watching it. Um, Villainous level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not a demon lord. Otherwise known as Ak- Akuyaku Reijo level 99. Watashi wa ura basu desu ga mao de wa arimasen. And this is basically this show is about a girl who got reincarnated into a video game as like the villainous, you know. This is like a whole genre. We've seen it like with 3 different anime at this point. But she because she knew that this character ends up dying in the end. She basically just grinded so hard she's like level 99, and she's just insanely broken. Uh, it's pretty enjoyable. It's like fun to turn your brain off. But it's literally just a power fantasy for girls, more or less. Uh, so, but like the art style's pretty cute, and I think they do a pretty good job with it. Tales of the Wedding Rings. Okay, this is literally just softcore porn. This anime is. I watched, and I also like watched the first episode, and it's just like the quality is just mid. Like I don't know what to say. Unless you're desperate to see like boobs. I'm not gonna lie, there are better hentai than this. Like some people are gonna check this out. I think I checked out like the Reddit conversation tab panel for this for like the first episode, and it was like the second top comment was like, and it has uncensored tits. Nice. So if that's your thing, then you can check this out. I'm not gonna. I'm too old for this shit. The Unwanted Adventure. Not shaming old people who jerk off to hentai. I've just gotten bored of that stuff. Unwanted Adventure. I actually like this. This okay. This anime is basically about a guy who dies, but basically like revives as an undead, and I think it feels very fresh. It's very similar to uh Kumo Desuga, like the spider anime. If one the human side, like all those really annoying reincarnated humans, like were much more normal and like not obnoxious, as well as not having the main character, the main spider's like crazy energy. He's more normal. He's still kind of like a nice guy and a little bit boring, but it's like still significantly more tolerable and like easier to watch. Man, that spider anime was rough to stomach sometimes. I This is actually one of my favorite animes of the season. It was a very pleasant surprise with me. If you're looking for something like, don't go in it with super high standards, but it's like it's just a very enjoyable watch, I guess, is what I have to say. Uh is there anything else I want to note here? Sasaki and Peeps. I really liked the first episode of this anime. It was great. But the second and third, it's kind of like branching out and getting lost. I don't know, like first episode it had so many cool concepts, and now it's just focusing on one of those concepts, and the next episode it focuses on another concept, and there's just so much jumping around. And I heard that they don't kind of there's no permanent interaction until the end, or like close to the end of the anime slash manga. Um, so I'm gonna be watching it, but I'm worried that this anime, like it had a great first episode, but it seems to be losing steam and losing itself in the sauce. So I hope this Sasaki and Peeps, Sasaki Topi-chan, uh, I hope it continues its quality. We'll have to see on that. And the last one, let me see if I missed anything. Mr. Villain's Day Off. This one is literally just pure fluff. It's kind of like there's an anime I'm thinking about. It's like it's like a man, the villain, and a superhero, like the Red Ranger guy, get in a relationship. This is basically that anime, only it's just the villain, and he's just enjoying his time. And honestly, it's very refreshing. There is so much relaxing fluff in this. Um, it is like it's very hard to hate this anime. The only way to hate it is to be bored by it. But if you're watching this and getting bored, then you probably weren't the right audience for this to begin with. Um, but that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed my takes on this anime for the season. If you disagree with anything, let me know in the comments and let me know how wrong I am. Uh, and I will retort your point and explain why you are wrong and why my opinion is correct. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.